Welcome to the channel, everyone. I'm Skratch. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. In today's video, guys, I want to talk about the best epic champions for the Chimera clan boss. Now, I've done a video where we talked about the best legendaries. Time to talk about the best epics because, hey, not everybody has all of the legendaries in the game, and a lot of you guys that are slowly progressing through the game might be looking to try and attempt to do a key on easy, on hard, on normal, or even on brutal, or maybe even on nightmare on Chimera. And you might be wondering, okay, what are the best epic champions that I can actually use in there? So I'm gonna give you guys my top 15 best epics, and I will give you guys some suggestions on what sort of teams you should put up together. So I do want to start by saying that, yes, we do have the reset right now on the Chimera, and guess what? We can basically do absolutely nothing for 20 hours. We cannot try to do another fight or anything like that. Pretty much the same story for the Clash. We gotta wait till tomorrow, basically, and then we can actually start playing it again. But unlike Hydra or the Demon Lord, we actually have a full 24 hours break, basically. So let's start with the very first epic champion that 100% is one of the best. So as usual, in pretty much all of the content, whenever new content comes out, the very first epic on the list is Geomancer. And that's mainly because he's more unique than any other champion, and all of his magic comes from the passive. And to be honest, he's probably the best damage dealer that we have for the Chimera as an epic champion. Not only that he is a good damage dealer, but he will bring you a few debuffs to the table, which overall will be very important for trials. So you're going to put HP burn, you're going to put weaken, which will increase your damage, and you're going to have decreased accuracy as well. On top of it, you can actually even remove or steal buffs from the boss whenever he's going to get buffs from your own team. So Geomancer ticks pretty much all of the boxes, guys. Now, of course, if you are running him in a team just with epic champions, you need to keep in mind that you don't really need to bring in another champion to give you weaken, right? So you can run a champion just with decreased attack, decreased defense, and decreased speed, like Stag Knight, for example, which is the next one on the list, and basically tick all of the boxes in terms of having the important debuffs on the boss, right? Having the ability to really pair well a couple of champions like this to tick so many boxes is actually going to be massive for your team. So as I was mentioning, Stag Knight, again, one of the better epics in the game, just for the simple fact that he is just so damn useful everywhere in terms of content. You have the decreased speed on the A1, which is super important on the Chimera boss. Then you have defense down and decreased attack. Pair him with Geomancer, and not only that you're going to get some amazing damage, but you're going to get pretty much all of the important debuffs. Yes, now we're looking to bring in a leech, we're looking to bring in a lot of support, and of course we're looking to bring in another damage dealer that can push us to the next level, more or less. His passive is not bad either, because you are going to get an increased accuracy. It is randomly, so it's not necessarily the best thing, but it will help you with trials. So as long as this lands on the right champion, and you are able to land a lot of debuffs while you are under increased accuracy to complete trials, is going to be pretty helpful. One thing that I haven't actually paid attention to, I'm not sure if the trials become easier on lower difficulties. Let me know in the comments down below. That's actually something that I haven't looked into. So I'm not 100% sure if the trials are a bit easier. The next champion on the list, guys, and he is another big champion for this boss, Royal Guard. So not only that he's going to bring you enemy max HP damage, which is absolutely amazing, but it will bring you defense down, it will bring you decreased speed as well. So you're going to get quite a few things from a Royal Guard as well. Now you can pair him as well with a Geomancer, and then you're going to need to bring in another champion for attack down, and you have quite a few different options that can do that, of course, and you are going to gain some pretty nice damage. Without a doubt, in terms of enemy max HP, he is the best in terms of epic champions. Husk, not great in this fight. He's amazing in the Hydra, but he's not great versus this boss because provoke won't be helpful, and he's really not ticking any other boxes, right? Royal Guard, he is weak affinity this time around, unfortunately, but either way, he will perform really, really well. The thing is, you need to build him with accuracy, with speed, and what I like about Royal Guard is that you don't need to build him with insane attack or anything like that to do good damage, right? Because all the magic happens from this skill. Now, it's not a multi-hitter like Newt, Acrisia, or Marius, so don't expect the same type of results. But for an epic champion, he is definitely the best option, to be honest with you guys. Then, another very, very important epic champion. He is mainly a well-known damage dealer, right? In Hydra, in the clan boss. But this time around, we're not taking him in just for damage, and that's Fenax. So with the A1, this is basically where the magic happens. Now, when you are building this champion with higher accuracy, etc., you will sacrifice some damage stats in order to achieve the required accuracy. So his damage won't be as crazy from the basic skill. Plus, you will need that increased attack, which is pretty hard to fit in a team if we're only bringing in epic champions, which of course you can mix it with legendaries, etc., right? Which is another thing to keep in mind. But because we don't have the area bonus in the Great Hall at the moment to really push the ignore defense, speed, and all of the rest of the stats, raw damage dealers will underperform enemy max HP. And this is another thing. I've seen a lot of people commenting on the latest video I've posted. Skratch, can you not bring in Marius and Newt? Because it seems like everybody's doing videos with these champions. I mean, enemy max HP are the better option at the moment, unless you have Toshiro, right? So you basically need to bring in what deals more damage, and enemy max HP outperforms raw damage dealers for the moment, and was the same in Hydra before. Then this skill right here will bring you block buffs and places an active skill debuffs for 1 turn if the skill does not place a block buffs. This will be pretty relevant for trials as well. It is a bit more conditional, a bit of RNG, but this can work very nice. Plus, on top of it, he's going to bring you defense down, and he's going to bring you decreased speed. Again, you can pair him very nice with a Geomancer, get some damage, and you're ticking pretty much all of the boxes. You have decreased speed, you have defense down, you have weaken, you have HP burn, you have block buffs, block active skills. So those are a lot of debuffs coming in from 2 different champions. It's all about trying to really find that perfect pair, right? Then, moving over to the next champion, is something that I haven't tested just yet, but out of all of the rest of the damage dealers in terms of epics, there's really no other one that will stand out more than her and the ones that I've already named. And I am talking about Whisper, yes. Basically, she will bring you a weaken with the A1, which can be very nice, because if you don't have a Geomancer, right, and you're looking to bring in a weaken, you can bring in Whisper, you can bring in a Royal Guard, and bang, you've made a nice combo right there. Then maybe you can bring in a different champion for attack down. Now, Whisper does additional damage versus bosses, 20% more extra damage. The main thing is, again, having the Great Hall to push the stats is going to be crucial if you want to rely on raw damage dealers only, right? That's why champions like Geomancer, enemy max HP are still better. Then, if you have defense down and weaken, grants an extra turn. Can be very nice. Attacks an enemy, places increased attack and increased crit rate. Now, this on its own will be very important, because you will have a trial where you gotta deal damage while your characters are under either an increased crit rate, either an increased crit damage. So, Whisper bringing that increased crit rate on herself and the self buff with increased attack is actually going to be massive, because you won't need to think about, oh, I need to bring in an increased attack champion, right? I need to bring in a champion that gives me increased crit rate or increased crit damage. No, you have the increased attack, and you don't need to bring in a different champion to give you that if you're going with a Royal Guard or a Geomancer in the same team, because they don't do damage based off their attack. So Whisper, definitely a pretty solid option on the table as well. Now, I feel like in terms of damage dealers, at least at the moment, that's pretty much what we have on the table as epic champions, guys. We do have, of course, quite a few different... actually, we do have one more that's is a damage dealer, right? So, for whatever reason, I wasn't thinking of her as a damage dealer. We have Morag. Morag is actually going to be pretty nice for this boss because she's a tanky champion. She's not going to get wrecked easily. Yes, increased defense will be mandatory for her to really push in a lot of damage. But what I do like about her is that she brings you the strengthen on all of your team. And then she brings you a mini ally attack, which can be really nice. And then you have the passive as well, which allows her to counterattack, which once again will be very important for trials, right? Now, you don't necessarily have to worry about the boss stealing all of your buffs and stuff like this, because if you will have different champions that can either apply block buffs, either remove buffs from the boss, like Geomancer, for example, can steal the buffs, right? So it's not a necessity to build damage dealers that buff in protection or anything like that, right? Because it will be pretty irrelevant, and the majority of you guys most likely won't have a lot of protection gear anyway, so you will have to basically rely on champions stripping buffs, putting block buffs, etc. Then, the next champion that we have on the list, and even though she's an attack-based champion, I'm not really seeing her as a damage dealer, Ruella, right? She won't really do crazy damage to be like, oh my god, such an amazing damage dealer. But what she does really well is decrease speed, weaken, and decrease speed. Massive, right? So having this skill is really, really nice. The only problem is that this is on a 4-turn cooldown, so it does take a bit longer to rotate. What I do like about her is that she gives you turn meter and increased crit rate as well on a 3-turn cooldown. So that's actually a really nice skill. This can help you with trials as well. And the most important thing versus this boss, guys, is getting that turn meter, getting as much turn meter as possible, right? And with A1, she has a chance to steal some turn meter, but this will not work versus the boss. So again, I feel like she is a bit more, a bit harder to fit in some of the teams, especially if you have some of the previous champions that I've just named, because while she does bring you quite a few things, the 4-turn cooldown, in a way or another, puts me a bit off, right? But she's still one of the better options that we have in terms of epic champions. Moving over to the next one, guys, and it's time to talk a bit about support champions and stuff like that. Without a doubt, Demytha is one of the best options in terms of support champions. So you're gonna get a lot of continuous heals. You're gonna increase the duration of buffs, decrease the duration of ally debuffs, which is nice. You're gonna get healing, and you're gonna get block damage and continuous heal. Now, block damage is going to be massive versus the ramp form, guys, because that boss is reflecting so much damage that it makes me cry, okay? It literally makes me cry when I see all of my champions just all dying after a hit. So a block damage is massive. Plus, increasing the duration of buffs enables you to keep the protected buffs on for a longer duration of time. So definitely not a bad champion whatsoever. Very good healing. So she is one of the options, right? Then another awesome support character is going to be Skathix. Now, the main thing that you need to have versus this boss as well is having immunity, block buffs, then having block debuffs, sorry, and having a cleanse. Things like this will be really, really important. So not only that he brings you that Skathix, but he brings you decreased speed. He has a chance to steal a random buff, and he will give you a shield and immunity on a 4-turn cooldown. Now, the best build for Skathix, will be, of course, 9-piece protection. If you can get that up and running, he will require the accuracy. And now that we kind of like discussed about what combos of champions we can use as damage dealers, once you tick the box and have 2 different damage dealers in your team, time to integrate support, right? So he's a very good option as well because of the cleanse and the immunity. Then, of course, you will need to have other champions. Now, if you're not bringing in a Stag Knight and you're looking for a different decrease attack champion and a champion that will tick different boxes, we can talk, of course, about Sepulcher Sentinel. Very, very good option as well. Where is she? I'm half blind. There we go. Decrease attack. You have increased defense and you have block debuffs. So right here, if you fit Morag in the team, you have the increased defense, you have the block debuffs, you have the decreased attack, you have the passive, which can completely block incoming damage. And this can be very nice, again, versus the ramp form when it changes form, when it metamorphs, and it starts using the skill that attacks one target multiple times if the damage exceeds 20% of that HP. So this can be a very, very solid option. Plus, you have a defense aura for for all battles from this champion. Another one that can put decrease attack and bring you some more utility is, of course, Raktar Drat. Now, her chance to land a decrease attack is not the best, it's a single hit, and honestly, sacrificing a lot of other stats for the accuracy might not necessarily be the wisest choice, but if you gotta do it, you gotta do it, right? Then you're gonna have the healing, you're gonna have the perfect veil or the continuous heal, and you're going to have the revive. Now, it's a single target revive. That's why I'm not the biggest fan of Raktar Drat for this content on a 4-turn cooldown. But to be honest, not many epics can really do better than this, right? So, solid healing and decrease attack. Raktar Drat can be another support character that you are bringing in. Revivers are mandatory. You cannot go in this fight without a reviver, guys, because you are most likely risking to fail early, right? Then, another character that I think is really, really solid, in my opinion, is going to be Ursala the Mourner. Not only that she brings you the full revive on a 5-turn cooldown, right, with increased defense and strength, which can be really nice, but you are going to get decreased attack and increased attack on your team. So if, for example, you're planning to run a Fenax in the team, right, he already brings you defense down, he already brings you decreased speed. Now you need a decreased attack, and Ursala can bring you that, but at the same time, she can give him increased attack, so he deals more raw damage, right? And of course, you're gonna have the revive and the rest of the buffs, which are pretty nice. But she doesn't heal, so you do need to bring in another healing. Like maybe, for example, you can run Demytha in the same team, so you're getting healing from her. And you can definitely find some pretty interesting combos with epic champions as well. I'm not talking about going and racking Ultra Nightmare on Nightmare just with epics, because that's not realistic. But you can definitely get some pretty solid results, to be honest. Godseeker Aniri again is another strong option as well, and that's mainly because she does generate some good healing with the A2, with the A1, and her revive skill is really good because you're gonna have all of the skills available on a 4-turn cooldown once again, and you're gonna have the passive, which can be really, really nice. Now, these are solid revivers too, but she's not really bringing you anything else to the table, right? You're getting the healing and all this. I feel like a very good reviver is Tagoar, which actually brings you some more utility too. So you're getting increased defense on the ally with the lowest HP, increased speed, you're getting healing, so he gives you healing, increased speed, and a full revive on a 5-turn cooldown. Now, it's not the strongest revive, they are still going to be pretty low, so you do need somebody else to come in and heal straight after, preferably, right? The passive is not bad either, giving you a bit of damage reduction, but that increased speed is going to be very, very important, guys. And as I mentioned, the decreased speed, you can cover it with Royal Guard, with Fenax, with Stag Knight, but then you do need to have that increased speed as well. And to be honest, there are not that many epic champions that can really provide all of that good stuff. I actually have 2 on the list, and I'm really debating in between the 2 of them. So, on one hand, we have Lady Annabelle, which is really nice, right? You're gonna get Leech, you're gonna get decreased speed, which is a bit conditional, but if you're targeting this skill at the right moment, you're not gonna have any issues, and you are going to land the decreased speed. On the other hand, you're going to get increased speed. You're going to get some swaps HP with a target, etc., with a revive on that and all that. Not the most relevant thing. But having the Leech and the decreased speed is already nice. If you have War Master on your characters, they can self-heal. They can self-sustain a little bit better, right? So that is pretty nice. On the other hand, we have High Khatun. Now, High Khatun will bring you as well decreased speed, will bring you increased speed and turn meter on a 3-turn cooldown, and a speed aura for all battles. So they're both really good champions. It really depends how important is that Leech for you. To be honest, having the speed aura, having the turn meter is more important in my opinion versus this fight. Like, it's so important to have increased speed, decreased speed, turn meter. That's what really enables you to basically get it up and running and do some serious damage, overlap the boss. That is pretty much everything for my top 15, guys. Now, there are quite a few different epics that are definitely worth mentioning. Like we have Ferrokin the Fat, which brings quite a few things to the table as well. The defense down, the HP burn, the poisons, the ally attack, the increased crit rate, the increased crit damage. All of these can help you with trials and are very, very important debuffs, right? And the buffs too are actually pretty relevant, plus the ally attack. The thing is, with the ally attack, it does help you to land the debuffs, right? For like from the other support champions. But because you're not really going to have a lot of crazy raw damage dealers, you're not really going to up your damage because of the ally attack. You will up it by a little bit, but it won't be as substantial as in the regular clan boss or in the Hydra clan boss. At least with a combo of raw damage dealers and stuff like that. But either way, we definitely have quite a few solid epic champions. Venomage can potentially be a pretty good one as well, because she's bringing you the damage reduction, she's bringing you the debuffs and all that. Definitely don't sleep on her, and consider her if you need some damage dealers in there. I feel like Runekeeper Dasdar can be nice. He has the Leech on the A1, increased attack and turn meter on a 3-turn cooldown, cleanse and healing, and a continuous heal. So he's definitely looking like a pretty solid option. Then of course Deacon Armstrong, another viable option for defense down. What I do like about Deacon is that he brings you the speed aura, turn meter manipulation, the extra turn into defense down, and leech on the A1. So again, he's definitely not a sleeper. I just don't think he will make it in my top 15. To be honest, it's hard though. Top 20 for sure. Then you have Hotatsu, which again is not a bad champion whatsoever, and he does tick a lot of boxes because he brings you leech, decreased attack, increased defense, continuous heals. He has this passive which won't really make such a massive impact, but either way, definitely a pretty interesting one. That's pretty much all in terms of my top 15 and a few extras like usual. I just can't help it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. As usual, appreciate all of you guys watching. Let me know what team are you using, what difficulty are you fighting on the Chimera. I'm actually going to start a poll on my channel, so please let me know there. Vote for the difficulty that you are actually farming. As usual, appreciate all of you guys watching. Much love, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.